Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to KHM Today, your weekly resource for industry news and straight up fun. I'm your host, Carolyn Orff, and today is July 12th, 2023, and I am beyond excited for today's show. But before we get to that, let me know that you're here. Hello, hello. It's so great to see you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing so many of you at Destination Success in just a couple of weeks. You guys, it's Prime Day. What did you buy in the last, what is it, 30 hours? I just got online this morning and made a few clothing purchases. I have not purchased any like goods. So tell me what your favorites are. We did a little bit of a poll on our Facebook channel, and I believe, and Sam, let me know if we're wrong, but I believe packing cubes are in the lead with luggage of following just a little bit behind. Other things like charging cubes and things like that are on the list as well. So check out those ideas and let us know what it is you're purchasing these last 2 days. Hello, everyone. So great to see you. It's an exciting day. All right, what else do we have to talk about? Passport delays. Ouch, you guys. Check those passports. Have your clients check them. 13 to 16 weeks looks like the average time, even with expedition. And yes, expedition, that's the word I was looking for. So just make sure. And then, of course, check those times for how long the passport needs to be valid for after the client departs the country. So, it can be 3 months to 6 months to we don't care. So just make sure your clients are not getting denied boarding because of that. I'm loving these ideas. Silicone straws for clients. That's fantastic. Kim's telling me a new cart seat. I saw some on Prime today. I did see that was front and center today after the Adidas shorts, which I did put in my cart. So anyways, you guys, and finally, thanks to you guys, we hit 10,000 podcast downloads. So if you're not listening to us via podcast, feel free to download us, listen to us whenever you feel like it in the car, on your walks, if you can't sit and watch us live. So thank you all for supporting the podcast, and thank you to our fantastic team here at KHM. All right, you guys, we have a very special guest here today. For the first time, please welcome Simon Russell, CEO of Authentic Vacations. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you?
Hi. Did you purchase something from Amazon Prime Day?
Do you know what? I haven't. I think I purchase so much on Amazon the rest of the year. I do the reverse. I have a day off
You take Prime days off.
Prime Day. Yeah.
As much as we talk about it, you would think we all got a little bit of a kickback from it, but we get nothing from advertising Prime Day. But I always think it's fun, and I love to see what people are actually buying. So thank you for joining us. First time ever from the corporate office in Phoenix. Do you mind if we get to know each other a little bit better through some lightning round questions?
Of course. Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So these questions are not designed to stump you. They're just about you as a person, and they're real quick. See how many you can answer as quickly as possible. So what was your first job?
I worked in a restaurant serving tables.
What is your favorite season?
Winter, snowboarding.
What is your favorite word?
Epic.
That's a good one. Who do you text the most?
My 23-year-old son, who's the other side of the Atlantic.
What is your go-to pastime?
Snowboarding.
What is your favorite word in another language?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a tough one.
Hola. My mother was Spanish.
Very good. And what is one subject you would like to learn more about?
Backcountry snowboarding. You can see
yes.
there's a bit of a theme there.
There's a bit of a theme. You need a shovel and a beacon. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah.
And a dog if you have one. That's my other favorite.
And a lot of nerves.
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about Authentic Vacations. This is a company that's been on my radar for years. I feel like I saw my first presentation at least 10 years ago when it was originally called Authentic Ireland. So obviously the focus was Ireland, maybe a little bit of Scotland in there. as I was doing some research and looking at the timeline, you guys have steadily added product to your mix in what seems to be a very methodical approach, because it's not like all of a sudden one day it was boom, let's offer all these destinations. If you look at the timeline, it looks very planned out and very methodical. Can you speak about that a little bit?
Yes, of course. So as you said, it started as an Irish-only business, founded back in 2001 by a husband and wife couple. She was American, and he was Irish, and it operated for the first 15 years of its life, just as as an independent, privately owned company, principally doing Ireland. It was really all about Ireland. And then in 2016. The business was acquired by a Dublin-based, so an Irish DMC, which a year later was subsequently acquired by Tour Partner Group, who we are now part of. And Tour Partner Group is a Northern European DMC that's based in London, and it deals with incoming travel businesses that want to send their clients to the UK, so to England, Scotland, Wales, to Ireland, and to the Scandinavian countries, also with an office in Copenhagen. So the method in the evolvement of our product is to feed and to work very closely with our own DMC, and that's a real advantage that gives to the clients and the travel advisors that we work with, because we, other than for Italy and for Australia and New Zealand, everything we do is with our own DMC. So we get unrivaled access to products, to rates, and to knowledge.
Well, and
and it's only
when you're working with your own DMC, would you say that you have control
yes,
over the experience? And that
exactly.
is something that agents, I think, feel like we've lost a little bit of control over,
Yeah.
and we're looking to gain it back.
Yes, and our DMC, the DMC business that we're part of, mainly deals in large groups traveling from mainland Europe into the UK and Ireland, from Asia, from South America, and also from North America. And it's a big group. It's fully recovered now after the trials and
Mhm.
tribulations of COVID, and is securing, has access to a lot of products at really good rates and years of expertise. I mean, the business was originally, as a DMC, was founded
Mhm.
in the 1980s, so it's been going for a long time. Rich reputations and fantastic relationships with suppliers in the core destinations that we feature.
So at KHM, we are really cemented in our core values, and I think a lot of companies would say that. Your core values speak to authenticity, of course, part of your name, and this service level that is, from the website, unparalleled.
Yeah.
How do you all achieve that on a day-to-day basis? You've got lots of things constantly working against you. How do you manage to keep those 2 things at the forefront?
Yes, at this time of year, in the heat, at the very summer seasonal business at this time of year, it definitely has its challenges. I think that the key thing with the values of our brand, they're very visible. They're there on the website for all the advisors that we work with and our clients to see. It was a piece of work that we did about 18 months ago. And whereas a lot of businesses will get an external marketing agency in, and they'll come up with something that's mission statements, a little bit woolly, it
Mhm.
doesn't, how do the people in the team actually live that every day? It was actually a piece of work we did ourselves. And our entire team contributed to that. We all collaborated together, to determine, what's really important to us. We talked to some of the advisors that we work with, some of the regular clients that we work directly with, and it was kind of built, it was built from the bottom up. And the bit that you don't see on the website, if you like, there's 2 pages on the website that talk about what we do and what we don't do, and
Mhm.
then there's a third page which is, as a team, how do what are the kind of key 5 or 6 things that we commit to do every single day to live out those values. So I think that it's a combination of the brand values have been built bottom up from the team,
Mhm.
And sitting alongside those is a series of things that we all commit to do each day. And there are days when it's challenging. Today, incidentally, is one of the is one of those days. But one of our key internal values is, I think, as everyone knows, in travel, things do go wrong. I was going to say a word then that I shouldn't say. Stuff does go wrong.
It absolutely does. And I think that's one of the things that leads to the next question is how we best partner with you. One of the things that I really try hard when my team and I are working with agents, especially new agents, is, of course, Europe's really hot right now, and a lot of people want FIT, right? Independent. But they're not exactly sure how to go about planning and working with the supplier for that independent. And I try really hard to tell people, hey, it's not that you send an email or call them up and say, hey, my clients want to go to, Ireland for 7 days. What do you have? There needs to be more to it in order for the process to work really well symbiotically. What does that look like for you guys, for the agents on the other end of that email or phone call? What do they want from us that's going to make it easier for them to provide us something that's really fantastic?
Yeah. So one of the key things that we did during the quieter period, because it was, not much was happening for a couple of years whilst COVID was going on. We took a really good close look at our business and how it works. And we've developed our travel advisor portal to try and get as perfect as possible a blend between allowing the advisors that we work with to self-serve, so providing them with easy access to blogs, to information about the destinations, to tips, to travel advice, along with a tool that they can search through the type of product that we've got. They can get served up with initial ideas, which they can do themselves in their own time when it suits them. They can pull those down off the agent portal, white labeled, put their own information on, and use these kind of self-service tools to engage with the client in the early stage of that consideration journey that the client goes through. And then make sure that we're in a position that we've got a team of people here that have the capacity and the experience to then, when you want to stop self-serving and you actually want to really get into the meat of it and have a conversation with us, that we're available to do that. And that's the other big change that we made to our business, which lots of people on the stream today, I'm sure, will be aware of, that we made in our business during COVID, anticipating the chaos that was going to descend upon the industry once we eventually came out of COVID, which is everyone's gone back to 2019 levels of business, and most people have got half the staff, because half the staff left the industry, and a lot of them don't want to come back. So we moved to what remains a unique model, whereby we take an initial deposit from our travel advisors and from our clients, and that allows us to steer clear of what I'm sure we would all call the tire kickers and the window shoppers that consume a lot of our time as an operator, and for you guys as advisors, because those people that are just shopping around are not prepared to put a little bit, $99 refundable of skin in the game. So what that's enabled us to do is completely transform our business. So we are now back to pre-COVID 2019 levels of business, with fewer staff, but with we are able to turn around customized quotes, engage in that high quality conversation with our travel advisor partners, and get you a quote within 24 to 48 hours.
And something that's very specific too. I mean, I've worked with you guys, and it's everything from the transfers, the hotels, activities. I mean, it's pretty detailed and very complete.
Yes, and it's all about being able to focus our time and our effort and the experience we've got in our team on the genuine inquiries that people are, because it's a big funnel and it's very,
Mm-hmm.
very wide at the top. There's lots of people milling around. I'm thinking about going to Ireland. Maybe I'll do this.
Yes.
Maybe I'll do that. And we're just trying to stay out of that top bit of the funnel, which is where most of the people are, and just engage a little bit lower down when people are, they're committed enough to actually, to actually go ahead and book a trip. And the sign of that commitment is that, is that initial deposit. And if we can't come up with something that works, we can't come up with the availability, we can't come up with the right price, we refund that. And that has put us in a very, very unique position for this, for this summer, because everyone is struggling with turnaround times. Lots of the Northern European operators that we compete with are, we can do your quotes, we'll get back to you in 2 or 3 weeks' time. And we can turn around in 24 to 48 hours, and then we back that up with a great quality product, which we're then able to we are then able to deliver. And when occasionally things do go wrong, because they do, because we're all sitting in this kind of intermediary space,
Mm-hmm.
and we haven't got the ultimate responsibility to deliver it. That's a core part of our values, to make sure that we own the problem. We don't blame someone else, even though it may be a problem with one of our partners. And what we focus on is fixing it and making it right for our advisor partners or the client.
I think that everyone that's listening now and in the future, I think we can all relate to that mindset. The number of us that have turned after the quieter times, I loved that phrase, to charging a fee for our time, to weed out those that are just looking for information, looking, as opposed to those that are looking to really work with us. I think there's a lot of people that we can understand that mindset, right? Don't waste my time. I'm not free. I'm not Google. I really want you to work with me because of my expertise. Speaking of, during that quieter time, a little bit of the US was incorporated into your
Yes.
product. And I had a fantastic experience with Land Alaska with you guys. Really amazing. And that, to me, because I haven't done it by land, is very intimidating. So I believe it was Alaska, wineries, and national parks that you kind of started to
Yeah.
incorporate. Is that correct?
Yes, I mean, it was never something that was in our long-term plan in
Yeah.
terms of product. Our DMC parent in Northern Europe is never going to be a DMC in the US, but obviously COVID came along. Europe completely shut down. We couldn't send anyone everywhere. It was do what we need to do to survive. You also, a lot of the travel advisor partners that we were working with, still had clients that wanted to do something. So we very, very quickly launched a US program in 2020 and 2021. It was our entire revenue, and we kind of expected, as we went into 2022 and European travel started to open up, that it would just it would just fizzle out. And certainly as we came to 2023 and Europe was all fully open with no restrictions, that it would fizzle out. And actually it hasn't. It's carried on. At a much lower level than it was in the 2 COVID years. And it's never going to be a core part of our business, but there is definitely the values that we've got and the expertise that we've got. Although we're not securing that product through our own DMC, we think that we've got a good product there, and there are plenty of advisors out there that keen to get some help with domestic travel.
That's fantastic. All right. Last but not least, is there an experience? So many of our clients are looking for that, just like knock them out of the park, unique, very bespoke experience. Do you have a favorite one that you guys have put into an itinerary for someone's client?
Yeah, when you sent me this question, I did struggle with it, because there are so many, and I feel like I'm going to give you a lame answer. Now, I think I said to you in the introduction, whilst I run a travel business, I haven't been able, for various reasons, haven't been able to leave the country for 3.5 years. So this isn't one that I've experienced myself, but certainly talking to the team, The team have all been, or most of them have been on fam trips already this year, and will go later this year. That's one of the great things of getting out of COVID. We can get the team back to traveling to the destinations that we actually serve. So the lame answer, the sort of the more generic answer, is, what we try and focus on is experiences that are personal, they're as private as they can be, and involve locals. And a really good example of that, one that's really popular in in a lot of our itineraries, is the falconry experience. Sorry, I'm going to say it with an English
I
accent
have
rather
heard
than an
about
American
this.
accent. Yeah, and it's the kind of thing that you can do it in a big group. But when you're in a big group of 10 or 12 people, you haven't got as much close-up contact. You haven't got that engagement with the falconer, the guy that that actually owns the bird and is holding the bird. So so if that's something that someone is interested in, then we will try and do that as a private experience, where it's just where it's two people with the falconer. They have much more opportunity to engage with him or her, and it's just a much more personal experience. So we try and focus on personal, private, and really using local, authentic experts.
So fun. All right, you guys. Simon, thank you so much for being here. For those of you that are listening with KHM, Authentic Vacations will be at Destination Success in just a couple of weeks. So make sure you check out their trade show booth on Thursday during that time. Thank you for being here. It was wonderful to have a chance to meet you and to speak with you as well.
And thanks for all of the support from all of the advisors within KHM. And we are still open and available to take inquiries and bookings for the rest of this summer. So if you're stuck, you know where to come.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Simon. Have a wonderful rest of your day and stay cool.
Thank you. I will do. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You guys, what did you think? That was amazing. It was so great to hear from another partner that we can work with when it comes to Europe, and Napa and Alaska and the national parks. How many times have you had to turn those down because you don't know where to start? So you don't have to turn them down anymore. All right, you guys, our next guest is part of the marketing team at KHM. He is the mastermind behind so many of the fun videos and on TikTok, Reels, all that sort of stuff. Here to break it down is Sami Najjar from the marketing team, talking about short form video that none of us understand.
Hello.
Hi, Sami. I hear Annie in the background.
Yeah, I'm here, but just in case anything goes wrong.
Just in case.
Just in case. All right, Sami. So let's talk about short form video, because you use these terms and I start to fog over. I don't always know what it is you're talking about, but thankfully you're really, really patient, and you stop, you see the cloud coming over my eyes, and you stop and say, you have no idea what I'm saying. Let me back it up. So what is considered a short form video, and where do I find it?
So short form videos are those vertical videos that you'll see on social media platforms. They're usually between, of course, 1 second to usually 60 seconds. Some of these platforms are extending it to even like 3 minutes and like 10 minutes. But the main short form video is that 1 to 60 second vertical video format, and you'll find that on TikTok. That's exactly what a TikTok is, a short form video. Mm-hmm. And other social media platforms have their own version. Instagram has Reels, Facebook has Reels, and YouTube has Shorts. So those are all considered short form videos.
So we had a really funny conversation yesterday when we were talking about this, about the length of what is the sweet spot for that short form video. That's really hard to say. Yeah. What, in your mind, your expertise, what is the sweet spot for that length?
So usually you have about 3 seconds to hook your viewer in, and then you have about 10 seconds total before they might get bored and scroll away. And I know you mentioned, when you're watching your videos and you're scrolling and they're taking too long to finish the recipe, or your pimple popping videos, you'll scroll away if it's not if it's not right away. And that's how it is for everyone. I mean, you'll notice it yourself. You don't naturally notice it, but instinctively, if it's taking too long, you'll scroll away. So you have 10 seconds, to keep someone in your video or keep someone watching your video. And I would recommend usually between like 15 to 30 seconds max. But But of course, the shorter the better always. If you can get your point across as fast as possible, whether it's an educational video or entertainment or information, the faster the better.
So I think a lot of agents are most comfortable on Facebook. And I know when I go on my phone on Facebook or even on my computer, I'll see the down part, right, where I post about the show and stuff like that. And then up across the top, I see these other little things and I click on one and then I can kind of scroll through all of them. What's the difference there and where am I putting a video?
So that's funny because Annie was just showing me that on her Facebook, and they actually are including like a whole Reels timeline for you. So Instagram has this as well. They have their own little section where if you click on it, you're on that Reels timeline, and you'll scroll and you'll only see these short videos. But when you post a short form video, it will also show up in that timeline, so anyone can see that. But also your followers will be able to see that in their own regular timeline. So if they're just scrolling away, they'll see other people's posts, pictures, or just text posts, whatever it may be, but they'll also see your Reels at the same time. And then in that individual Reels only section, anyone can see it, whether they're following you or not. So that's why short form video is so important, because it has so much potential.
So if I put it down below, only those folks that I'm friends with that are looking for it, looking for me really, are going to find it. But up across the top, anyone can see that.
Well, so when you post yourself, it's going to appear both ways, no matter what.
Okay.
So it'll show up for your friends on that regular feed, and then it'll also show up for everyone else in that short form video feed.
Okay. So for those of you that are on with us right now and are chatting a little bit on our screen, is this becoming more clear to you? It is for me. So how do I go about, I am constantly taking video. You've told me to take video no matter where I am, vertical video, little snippets of things, interesting things.
Yes.
What do I do once I have all this stuff on my phone? Am I using an app? Can I do it in Facebook? Like, how do I create that 10 seconds?
So first, once you have all your content, I would add it to an album in your phone. That way you have it all in one place, and it doesn't get mixed in with the rest of your camera roll. And that's something I should probably follow a little more, because like you said, you're always sending me videos, and I'm getting videos from everyone traveling everywhere. So it's really important to separate that, and make sure you have an idea of what it is that was recorded, so you don't mix it in with everything else. And then as far as what apps or tools to use, each social media platform has their own in-app video editor. So when you are uploading these videos, you can upload however many clips you need, and in the actual app itself, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, you can edit it right then and there. You can shorten certain clips, or you can add background music and text, and all the tools you'll need are also in that app altogether. And then there's also some people that like to edit the video somewhere else and share that same video on every single platform. So there's a lot of different options for that. One of the tools I use is CapCut. And that is basically the same thing as TikTok, the TikTok video editor. I would recommend just starting on the apps first and getting the hang of everything. And then once you feel like you're ready, you can try out using just one of those apps that's for only video editing. That way it'll be a little easier for you to understand everything.
Okay. So any particular do's and don'ts? What do we definitely want to do, and what do we want to stay away from?
So do's, I would keep each clip short. I like to keep my clips up to like 2.5 seconds max before it switches over to the next clip. So that's what we call quick cuts, when it's cutting from one clip to another. We want them to go faster. We don't want them to drag on and then someone's stuck watching the same clip. And then I would make sure text is always visible. Sometimes people have a text and the color matches the background, so you can read some letters, but you can't read the rest of it because it's blending in with everything else. So I think it's really important. I know Sarah talks to me about that all the time, of making sure the text is legible, whether it's the font or the color you're using. And then if there's something verbal or audible in the video, you want to make sure that it's able to be heard. So if you're adding background music, you may have to adjust the different volumes and make sure that whatever part you need to be heard is heard.
Okay. Any particular don'ts? What shouldn't we post? Is there something like on site? Well, we don't want to ever post other people if we can, unless they've agreed, right? And certainly not children.
Yes, of course. And then if possible, try to get that waiver release form. And so don'ts, I wouldn't record super long clips and upload just super long clips. I've seen some people, they have a bunch of different clips, but they're all like 20 to 30 seconds long each. And then you put them together, and then 20 here, 30 here, plus another 15. That's like 65 seconds, a minute and 5 seconds. And, that's way too long for a video, especially a short form video, just because people like to get their content and get it fast. So if you're taking too long to get to the point, they'll just scroll away and find that information elsewhere.
Okay. And then finally, Sami, who's our audience? Like, you're talking about all this stuff that's a little technical. I have kids that are totally into this, so I've become into this, but are we reaching a certain demographic here, or really is everyone looking at stuff in some way, shape, or form?
It's a little bit of both. Each platform kind of has its own, dominant age demographic. Facebook may be for more of an older audience, but TikTok may be for more of a younger audience. Instagram might be right in the middle as far as age. So what I would recommend as far as audience targeting and everything is just go for that general travel audience, because there's people on Facebook that want to learn more about travel, and there's people on TikTok that also want to learn more about travel. So it's kind of this universal topic that no matter what age group you're in, you're still able to get something from that video.
And how consistent should we be?
As far as posting, it just depends on the platform. I wouldn't post, too many times in the same day, just because you don't want to spam. And when people start to see you posting 3 to 4 times, they kind of get sick of you, and they may even unfollow you. So I would spread out posts depending on how much content you have. If you have tons of content that you can keep putting together, maybe you're posting every single day. But if your content isn't, if you're not traveling as much and not getting as much content, maybe you post once every 2 days, or maybe 3 times a week total, just depending on what you have and what you're able to use.
So I'm cracking up just a little bit, because as we're talking about all taking these videos, editing them, doing all this, I'm thinking you're going to say once a week, because I think that's about what I would be able to wrap my brain around. But you're absolutely right. You don't want to overdo it, but we don't want to underdo it either. We are trying to gain an audience.
Right. And I mean, once a week is fine to start, because you're not just posting those short videos. You're having regular picture posts or text posts on Facebook. So it's not like you're only posting those videos. So if you are posting other things, it's okay to just, maybe only 1 reel per week, and you're having the other content going in.
And is it okay to kind of go back and use some of the stuff from a few years ago, as long as it's still current and relevant?
Right. Yes. As long as it's still up to date and there's not anything that changed, or any rules or regulations that may have been recorded in that video, as long as it's up to date, it's perfectly fine to use.
Perfect. Sami, thanks so much. I always learn something new, because this is a topic that I just don't ever know that my brain will fully be wrapped around. So I always appreciate that you get it, and that you can explain it in a way that doesn't seem so overwhelming. Now, if you can just tell me how to stop getting those notices on my phone and my email that say I'm out of storage, then we will have the perfect relationship, because I'm still
I got you. We can help you out with that. And thank you again for having me on here. I enjoy coming on here, and we will be within the coming weeks, we're going to be going live on TikTok for more question and answers. We're going to be going with someone from the memberships team, and I will be on there. So we'll be able to answer memberships questions as well as any social media questions you may have.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Sami. I'll see you in just a couple weeks.
Sounds good. See ya.
Guys, that's awesome. Eric, I see your question here. There is not a step-by-step guide just yet, but that's something I can bring to the team. Amaris, yes. Oh my gosh, Canva video. We are going to start incorporating that more into Bootcamp 1 and 2. I have been using video for small groups, and they love it. I'm working on one right now for my niece's graduation trip, and it's just so fun to play around with things, put information about hotels. It's just another way to grab them, and it's all free. I'm not even using the pro service. So you guys, use those tools. They're not as intimidating. You really can't, you can't screw it up too much. So give it a whirl, try it, and see what you can come up with. But we look forward to seeing you guys at Destination Success, for those of you that are going to be there. Thank you all for joining us today. I think it was great to speak with Simon and Sami. Thank you to our sponsors for their continued support of the show. Next week, you guys, we're talking with Kevin Kelly from the groups team about putting together themed group cruises. This is a new, interesting, it's just skyrocketing through the market. So we're going to talk about some of the ideas, how to go about making this part of your game plan. So you don't want to miss it. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and we'll see you here next time. Take care.